All right. So welcome to our very first Diamond Mine call. So excited to see so many of you on here. That means that you have achieved Emerald rank. You're taking steps towards growing your business. And it's a really good thing that you're here because you're going to get to hear from some really awesome coaches on our team and actually a guest for who is my success partner. So you're going to get to hear from her as well. So I think what we should do first, since this is our first call and there's a few people on here who we may not know, if everyone could really quickly just state your name and what your, state your name and your diamond goal date for the year, or not year, because it's not going to take you a year to do it, but your name and your diamond goal date, because that's something that we asked you to do in the group in the beginning when you joined the group. So if you didn't do it, then we need to know now. So we'll start with Kelly, because she's the first one that I see in the chat room.
My name is Kelly Trimble, and my diamond goal date is May 11th.
Woo! Yeah, going for Summit, huh?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. There's really no point to state your name, but Janiyah, you can go next because I'm calling your name.
My name is Diana.
Sorry, I said it wrong. I'm tired.
It's okay. My name is Diana, and my goal date for Diamond is also May 11th.
Sweet. I know why. You want to go on that retreat. That's why.
I really do.
Yeah. All right, Nicole.
Okay, my name's Nicole, and my diamond goal date is March 30th.
Woo! That's like 30 days.
I know, I just put it on my post calendar.
All right. That's exciting. I'm going to make that happen. Alicia, are you there?
I know she's watching her kids, so I don't know if she's...
All right, we'll come back. Christina?
Yeah. Christina? Can I mute yourself?
Oh, sorry. I'll do it. Go ahead.
Oh.
Wasn't sure if I was the only Christina on here or not.
Oh,
Sorry. I'm Christina, obviously. My goal date is April 28th.
April 20, what?
My goal date is April 28th.
28th. All right, sweet. Just in time for Summit.
Yes.
All right, Alicia, you're back. State your name and your goal date for Diamond. She's not muted, so I hear the kid.
No.
Do you want to, how about you type it in the chat? Because I can't hear you for some reason. All right. Aria. I said it right.
Aria? Yes, you finally said it right. And my goal date is April 1st.
Woo!
So soon.
Yep.
So soon. All right. Shannon?
Shannon commented in the chat box that her mic is.
You commented. Sweet.
Well, she didn't say her date, but her mic isn't working.
Gotcha. Well, she can comment her date in there. Everyone, this is Shannon. Julianne, are you here?
Shannon said May 11th because she's going to Summit.
Yeah.
Hey, my name is Julianne. My diamond goal date will be May 1st.
Sweet. Just in time for Summit. All right. I think that's everybody. Unless I missed somebody. Oh, there's somebody else. Hi, I'm not going to put you on the spot. You just hopped on, but Selenia, when is your diamond goal date?
It's April 30th.
All right. Awesome. So we're going to have a lot of new diamonds at Summit this year. Yeah, lots of diamonds and star diamonds, it sounds like. All right. So what we decided we were going to do on this call today was talk to you guys since what we're going to do. Let me explain this, how this group's going to work. Every week we're going to go through the topics that you suggest, and we're going to pull 3 of like the top topics. And then what you're going to do, we're going to make a poll, and you're going to vote on what topic you want to hear that week. So whichever one wins is the topic that we're going to cover. So go away. The first week, since we didn't have a poll, we decided that it would be a really great thing, since like we're just kind of all getting together, to share with you our don't do this kind of moment. So if I knew better, I wouldn't do blah, blah, blah. We've all talked about what we're going to talk about. And I know that Lauren did want to go first because she has to go teach a class. So Lauren's going to share her what not to do moment and what she learned from it, and then we'll go around all the diamonds from there. So you go.
Can we mute everyone who isn't talking?
Yeah, I'll do it. Okay, we're good.
So I'm gonna make this super quick. So my thing that I wouldn't have done if I knew better is work all day. And I put that in quotes because I wasn't working efficiently, but I was like kind of doing coaching work from basically the time I woke up to the time I went to bed. And I also work a million other jobs. But I was like at those jobs and on Facebook Messenger on my phone, like all day long, frantically trying to have conversations with people and find coaches and hit diamond. But what that really did for me was burnt me out so badly. Because for one, like I wasn't even focusing on my conversation. So it was just like a huge waste of time anyway. But also I would like wake up stressed out with a work hangover. Like I was feeling super stressed and like I couldn't concentrate on anything else. So now what I've learned and what I do instead is I carve out specific time where that's all I'm doing, because we're not actually programmed to be multitasking. And when you multitask, you actually do both things that you're doing like way less efficiently. So it will save you more time to just focus on one thing at a time. So now I just carve out like a full hour of my day where literally all I do is message people and respond and, you know, go through my Facebook Messenger. I actually had to remove it from my phone for a while, and that instantly made all the stress go away. And suddenly I was having like really great conversations with people instead of these like, you know, kind of half-hearted, distracted conversations. So that is my thing that I recommend not doing.
Oh, I thought I was muted. That's a really good one. Does anybody feel that way? Anyone? Right, so that's definitely.
I know Nicole does. We just had this conversation.
It's going to hit home for a few of you.
I actually want to ask a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Do you feel like that hurts the relationship? Because I feel like this is just what I'm thinking, and I hope this is wrong, because I'm actually going through the same thing that you did. I'm trying to study for a big test, but like I can't focus on like my homeworks because I'm like, oh my God, this person texted me, let me respond right away. And so I like, if you're trying to be someone's coach and be an accountability buddy to them and be someone that they can go to with their issues and questions and concerns, initially when you're reaching out to them and forming a relationship, if you're like only responding once a day, do you think that hurts the relationship?
No. And if you feel like, well, okay, for one, Messenger, like Facebook Messenger, if that's where you're talking to them, like it tells you and it tells the person like when you've read their message. So if they see that you haven't read their message yet, it's not like they feel like you're ignoring them, because they could see like you just haven't seen it yet. And if you feel like you do have to talk to that person like more than once a day, you could set 2 separate times in your day, maybe one earlier in the day and one later in the day, to have these conversations and like clear out your inbox. but you don't need to be like in a conversation with that person dragging out through the entire day. Like you can just have a quality conversation in a short amount of time instead of this like long dragged out conversation where you're like, every time you go back into it, you're going to have to like go back and reread what you've already talked about to like figure out where you actually are in the conversation, which is going to waste so much time in your day. Like if you just sit down and have the full conversation at once, and then, you know, if you have things to do, like go do your things, go do what you have to do and come back to it later on. It doesn't hurt your relationship at all. And I found that it actually is like, I think that it has made people I'm talking to feel more comfortable because they don't feel like pressure to be sitting at their computer responding right away. You know, or if like you give them something to think about, like they have time to actually think about it rather than, you know, you being like, hey, are you there? Are you there? Like, cause you're frantic about responding.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I also feel like I'm interrogating them too, because I'm like, yeah, so what do you do now? What about this? What about this? So, and it's just like every 5 minutes. So I think it's spread out.
It makes the conversation like way more natural.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have any questions? Because then I'm going to hop off and bolt out of my home. Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you. All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
All right, go ahead, Emmy.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Mhm.
Okay, the number one thing, I mean, I had several, but I think that the main thing that I would have done differently and that I honestly should have done differently a long time ago and only have just gotten a handle on is really, really, really getting super organized. And I know that's kind of a no-brainer, but for so long I was working my business while at school, while at my other jobs throughout the day, and I had an organization system I was using. I would do this thing where I would kind of kid myself and be like, well, I don't have time to write it down right now, or I don't have time to log onto my Excel spreadsheet and log this conversation, so I'll just remember that I talked to this person, or I'll just remember that I invited this person, or I would even like take screenshots of my conversation and tell myself I would go write them down in my tracking sheet later. And just because of that kind of sloppiness and cutting corners, I missed a lot of people. I let a lot of people fall through the cracks, and I would go back in my messages like weeks, months later and realize that I'd never followed up, or they told me they were interested and I hadn't even responded because I was in my, I mean, it kind of goes into what Lauren was saying. I was trying to multitask. It's really the root of the problem. And instead of just sitting down and getting my notebook out and writing, because I do everything pen and paper, which works if you do it, but that's kind of the main thing, is just letting people slip through the cracks and cutting corners with my tracking and just keeping track of everything. And this isn't an excuse, but also I've been on the road in my RV the last 6 months, so a lot of my invites and follow-ups are audio messages, and I can't write them down when I'm driving. So I've had to really get more disciplined about sitting down, doing my power hour stationary, even if I have to pull over at McDonald's to do it and then get back on the road. That's definitely the number one thing, just because I missed a lot of people and I let a lot of people fall through the cracks. And if you're anything like me, I'm super scatterbrained. I know this about myself. And if you're tired and overworked, your brain's not gonna remember the things that you. So now I'll even do things like, if I'm out, I talk into my phone all the time and set reminders for myself to follow up people. So even if you have to do it several different ways, just find some sort of system that works for you and actually do it. And that's definitely my main thing, was just kind of trying to get away with not tracking and telling myself, well, I'll look back through my messages and remember who I'm talking to that way. And do not do that. If that's your organization system, write it down, because you will not. You'll scroll through your messages maybe months later and find all these people that you never responded to, which is not a good feeling. So that's definitely mine.
That's a really good one. Now, we've all been guilty of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure we've all come to that. Oh my God, why am I not keeping track of my people? I mean, it still happens sometimes. That happened to me today, actually. I saw a girl that like responded to me and I never responded back, and it was like weeks ago. But like Emmy said, having a system is super important. So whatever works for you, whenever you find something that works for you, stick to it and just keep doing it. Whether it's Excel, whether it's pen and paper, whether you're using Asana, I mean, whether you're using Teamsy, there's like so many things. Streak, I don't know, what else? There's so many. But as long as you're using something that works for you, that's the most important thing. And Asana.
Oh, sorry.
Huh?
I was just going to add on one thing, like that reminded me, another thing I did, and another part of that problem was I would see other people using other systems. So I think, well, that must be the better way to do it. So I'm going to scrap my system and go change everything. And then I really wouldn't use it because I'm a pen and paper person. So if something works for you, I literally have pieces of notebook paper. Like, it's not fancy. That's what works for me. So don't play the comparison game either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still kind of do that sometimes. Okay, so does anyone have any questions for Emmy about that? No? All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
All right, go ahead, Sarah.
There's a lot of things. I've been in this business for like 3 years, so there's a few things that I wish I didn't do when I first started. I would say number one was take personal development seriously. I was a nurse and I did a lot of reading, so I felt as though that just reading personal development was just going to be too much work. I hate reading because I had to read textbooks. But just last year, I would say, not last year, 2015 was when I started actually implementing personal development, at least 10 pages. Like, that's all I did. I didn't do any more than that because I still don't love reading. And my business changed dramatically. Like, I was able to retire. I eliminated $72K of debt from everything that I learned from those books. So if you find yourself not reading personal development, seriously, guys, like, take it seriously. And the next thing is like actually taking your business seriously. Like, I know you guys probably hear all the time when people say like, damn it, I forgot the saying. It's
the hobby thing.
Yeah. Treat your business as a hobby. It's gonna pay you as a hobby. Treat it as a business, then I'll pay you as a business. It's like, seriously, it's very true. Once I decided and created my vision board and said this is what I wanted to do, I wanted to quit nursing. It was like realization, like, shit, I have to do more if I really want to do this. So I know that you guys probably heard of like Power of 3 and Power of 5, but if you want to retire and eliminate all your debt, guess what? Power of 3 and Power of 5 is shit. You have to invite way more every single day if you really want this business to work. And I think that's all I have.
Very valid points. Clearly, they've worked so well for you. So, can anyone relate to those? The personal development, I'm sure a lot of us can relate to. Yeah. All right. Christy, would you like to go or would you like me to go?
I can go.
All right. I will close it up.
That works. So mine isn't exactly like terrible, but I didn't really realize it until I started really building a team and putting people together. And I started to realize that I pitched the discount option way too much. Like, I was just trying to get bodies under me and I was trying to get to Diamond, and I wasn't giving those people the opportunity that the opportunity is. Like, I was just trying to get to where I wanted to get. And not that I wasn't trying to help them, but I had rank in mind, and I'm just like, okay, I need 4 and 4 and they need 2 and 2. And I just had bodies on my head. And I pitched the discount to every single person pretty much after they completed a challenge group. Because honestly, if they love the product, I mean, why pay full price when you don't have to? But instead of approaching them with saying, hey, you could get a discount on this, I should have more often said, hey, you did really amazing in the group. You basically do what I do. And I do that too, but not for everyone. You basically do what I do as a coach already. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? And normally the people that I ask that, they say no, and then they sign up for the discount anyway. But I feel like the people that I asked to be discount coaches are still discount coaches. And this is my 1 year as a coach because I never showed them the other side of this world. And that's completely my fault. So it's not, I mean, never discount a discount coach. I was a discount coach for a hopping like 4 days. So was Carolyn, and there's nothing wrong with being a discount coach, but I think that I wish I would have approached it differently as far as when I'm talking to my when I'm transitioning a customer into a coach. That's really my number one thing that, I mean, because personal development, I don't even know the last time I touched my book. I will admit that right now. I know, it's so bad. But that is my number one like thing as far as my business that I wish I would have thought about differently whenever I started. And now that I'm a year into it and I am starting to build leaders on my team and they're starting to build teams, I don't want them to make the same mistakes that I did. And I have a couple of them on this call and a couple of them that can't be on the call. And it's just, I love this idea that we have going on with this Diamond Mine because I think it's great. And I wish we would have had this a long time ago.
Sorry, I
got.
didn't have the spark of genius until a couple weeks ago.
I know.
No, but I like what you're saying there. It's true. Like, it is one thing to build for rank. Like, yes, it's great. You want to have bodies under you. But once you get to that point, then you're going to be like, okay, well, I have coaches. You can't just stop building. You can't just stop once you hit diamond and think that you've got there now. You just work with the people you have. You have to continue to present the opportunity to people. And like Christy said, while it's not a bad thing to sign up somebody just because they want the discount, because that's how her and I are here, it's not a bad thing to do that. But instead of just saying to them, well, if you want a discount on your Shakeology, I can sign you up as a coach, they might not actually know that they can do what you're doing. Or they might feel like you just think they're only good for a discount and that they wouldn't be good enough to coach. So the wording that you use when you're asking people from your challenge groups to become a coach is super, super important. So I like that you had brought that up. Does that anybody relate to that? I do. All right. So I will share mine now. So my biggest, the biggest thing that I did that I shouldn't have early on, well, from the point that I decided I was actually going to do this, was I let when coaches cancel bother me. And I let when I had these really high expectations for some coaches and then they didn't do anything, I let that bother me. And I would drag people and I would say, well, you have so much potential. Like, what's going on? Like, let me help you. And by me doing that and giving all of my attention to people who really weren't doing anything, I was taking that attention away from people who were doing stuff. And I wasn't providing the people who were rock stars and people who were going places with the level of attention that they so rightfully deserved. So until I made a mindset shift of, I'm going to work with the willing and not everyone. Not that I'm not willing to help everyone, because that's kind of what it sounds like, but that's not the case. I will still help everybody. Like, that's just my personality. I'll help all of you. But if you're not going to show me that you want this, and you're not going to show me that you're inviting people and that you're posting, if you're not posting anything at all, and you're telling me that you're having trouble hitting Success Club and you're having trouble building your business and the business isn't working, then I'm going to tell you, well, you're not posting anything and you're not doing anything, and it doesn't happen if you don't do anything. Like, I'm not going to be like sugarcoating it anymore. As soon as I adopted that work with the willing mindset, I saw the leaders take off because they were getting the attention from me that they deserved, because I wasn't wasting my time. Well, that sounds bad, but using my time on other people who weren't actually doing anything. So the biggest thing to take away from that is, number one, I get like probably 5 to 10 coach cancellation emails in my inbox a week. Okay? That's because I get one when my coaches cancel. I get one when Christy's coaches cancel. I get one when Emmy's coaches cancel. I get one when all of your coaches cancel. So I'm seeing them like all the time. And if you let that bother you, like, oh, another one bites the dust, like, oh, another one, you know, if you let that bother you, you're just going to feel like your entire business is crumbling and you're never going to be building, because you're just going to feel like, well, why? Because I'm just going to lose another one. So we're never going to get anywhere. And that's not how you want to look at it. With that being said, if you're working with the people who want to work and you don't let those things bother you, it's just going to be like, okay, well, it's fine. You know, maybe it wasn't for them. I do typically reach out and I'll say something like, oh, was it a mistake? Like, did you try to cancel your on-demand and you canceled your coach account in an accident? But that's it. That's all that they get from me. And I don't completely like not talk to them anymore. I don't delete them on Facebook. Like, it's not bad. It's just, okay, well, it wasn't for them. And that's the kind of mindset that you have to have. You can't just be like, well, oh shit, I'm a shitty leader. I must suck as a coach. They must think that maybe I'm all of those things that people always told me in my past. I was never going to be good enough for anything. Like, if you start telling yourself that, you're going to just keep stabbing holes and wounds in your body, and it's just not going to make you feel any better. So when those things happen, like it happens. Like, people leave, people quit. I had coaches on our team who I thought were going to be absolute rock stars. I put a lot of time into a lot of coaches who turn around and just quit. And yeah, it hurts. It does hurt sometimes, especially those that like you have invested a lot of time in and money and support, and you've done a lot for them and you've seen them grow and you know they can do really well. But at the same time, you can't let one person dictate your future. Like, one person not wanting to be a coach on your team anymore has nothing to do with the level of leadership that you've achieved. It has nothing to do with how good of a leader you are. And the sooner you adopt that mindset, the better off you're going to be. Like, I've even had coaches like literally tell me to my face, who are no longer here, but when you'll know why when I tell you what they said to me. But I've had coaches say, you're a bad leader. I can't learn from you. The way that you present things, I don't understand. You suck as a leader. I don't, like, literally told me these things. And I let it bother me a little bit, but at the same time, I was like, well, you know what? I guess I attracted somebody to me who was not my tribe. And if they want to leave, they can leave. If they want to hang out and keep giving me $15 a month with their membership, they can do that too. But either way, like, I'm not going to stress out and waste all of my time trying to invest my time in people who are not doing anything and they're just kind of sitting around waiting for like their business to grow. Like, they planted a seed and didn't water it. Then I'm not going to waste my time with those kind of people. And I want to give my time to people who want to work. So from that, what you want to take away from that is when you have coaches who are working and building, you want to give them your full attention. You want to, because they're the ones who deserve it. And then as far as the ones who are leaving, that's fine. It's just not for them. That's the kind of mindset you need to adopt. And it has nothing to do with you and your leadership or anything like that. It's just the way it goes. And, you know, I've been a coach for almost like 2.5 years, 2 years, like actually coaching. But my first 2 coaches, like the coaches that got me to Emerald aren't coaches anymore. So think about that. Like, you're all Emeralds or above right now. And the coaches that got you to Emerald may not be there a year from now. But you know who's going to be there? You're going to be there because you believe in this. And this is something that is like important to you. And you're going to do it through hell and high water. No matter how many people come and go, you're still going to be here because this is like what you're supposed to be doing. It's important to you. And you know that sticking here and being here a year from now, 10 years from now, like, your life is going to be freaking amazing. And you know that. And it's sad that people are just going to leave and quit. But you know what? Who's the person who's going to be here, and the person that's the most important is you. So that's my thing that I wish I didn't do. Waste time with people who don't deserve my time. So did anyone relate to that? Was anyone dragging people through the mud? Yeah? Don't do it anymore. They can walk through the mud. They don't need you to pull them if they want to walk badly enough.
Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what the heck?
And it really just takes everything out of you. So definitely try not to do that, because you could really just get depressed with all those emails. Like Carolyn said, like, I get them from my coach. So you get them so often. And also just like, giving all your time to people who are not showing you that they're doing anything, you're really wasting your time. So yeah, try not to do that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're coming up on the 30-minute mark. So does anyone have any questions for us? Because this is your time to like ask questions and things like that. You deserve this time. You're the people who are putting in the work. You're the people who are showing up every day. So this is your time to use to ask those questions that you've been dying to ask us. And we, as your leaders here, are here to give you the time that you deserve, because we're not dragging you through the mud. You earned this spot on this call. So any questions for anyone?
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, it's for Christy. And basically she talked about signing up people as discount coaches. Well, basically that's what I did to become an Emerald, but the people who I signed up as a discount coach actually are really interested in being a coach now because they see what I'm doing and they really like the challenge group. Number one, I don't feel like I'm confident enough to teach them what I'm doing and have them be successful. So how do you deal with that? And then number two, how do you transition them into being a coach? Like this week I had them post, I challenged them to post 2 pictures on Facebook about what they're going through in the challenge group and either post with Shakeology or their weight loss success so far. But outside of that, like I'm just nervous about it.
Utilize your team. I still to this day have my coaches complete the Sweat Your Heart Out Coach Basics. And we use the Sweat Your Heart Out Google Drive because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I'm a year in and I still sometimes don't know what in the world to do. And the fact that we have so many resources and so many groups and so many trainings and so many things at our fingertips, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just add them to the team page and ask help from your coach, because my first 2 coaches were discount coaches. One of them was my husband, who's still a discount coach, and he doesn't have a choice. But the other girl's not even on our team anymore, and she was one of the reasons. That girl was how I got to Diamond, because she went to Emerald and then she disappeared. Like, you can't want this for someone else. And when they're ready to be a coach and they're ready to do things because they're seeing you do it, like, don't worry about not being good enough or not being ready to coach someone else, because you are. You just have to use the resources that you have in front of you. And there's so many in that freaking Google Drive. It's not even funny. And the new website with the Coach Basics and the Facebook training and the Instagram training and the avatar training, like, you're not alone. You don't have to do it by yourself.
Oh, thank you.
And one thing I wanted to add to that, if you look in our team page, I just updated this today, the team calendar, every month we'll have tag your new coaches on this calendar. So it'll show you like what they can do to get started. So if you want to send them that new coach email that you got, you can do that. Everything's duplication. So whatever you got, you're going to do for your coaches. So whatever I sent you an email, I said, here's the password. Then you're going to send that same thing. You're going to edit it so it's from you. And you're going to use that same thing for your coaches. But if you don't want to send the email, what I've done in our team page is it has the calendar. So you just tag them on the calendar, tell them read the above post, do steps 1 to, I don't know how many steps are there, but 1 through 2 or 3, and then schedule your first call with me. Now, if it's your first call and you don't know how to do a getting started right call yet, which is totally understandable, then you can reach out to your upline, which is me, and we'll do one together. So I'll do your call with your coach with you. We can do that the first time, so then you'll be able to see how I do them, and then I can give you a template that you can follow when you're doing it for your next one. Right? So it's all duplication. That's really all that it is, and just using the resources like Christy said. All right, any other questions for anyone? This is your time to pick our brains. No? All right. Well, I would say that it was a very successful first Diamond Mine call. I'm sure everybody got some really awesome golden nuggets from that. You got to ask some questions. You got to hear from leaders on our team as well as Jazira's team, Team Love Fit. So this is something that I'm really excited that we're doing. I'm really happy that we're doing this now. It's the time where everyone should really be working hard. We should treat our year, instead of treating our full year like a year, treat like every 3 months like its own year. So you know how the last couple of months of the full year, you're like rushing, trying to meet your goals, trying to meet like whatever you set for yourself, and you're like, wow, I'm so far behind from my goal. If you treat the next 3 months, so March, April, May, or even just March and April, because a lot of you have goals to hit in May, if you treat the next 2 months like the last 2 months of the year, and you treat every single day like the last day of the month, then you're going to have an amazing next 2 months of your business. Like, go crazy every single day. Don't like kill yourself, but treat every day like the last day of the month, like it's your last day to hit Success Club, and treat every month like it's the last month of the year where you need to hit your goal by the end of that month. And if you adopt that mindset, you're going to see that you're going to have so much more progress happen in a short period of time. So what we're going to do, not next week, the following week, we're going to have our next call. So that will be on the 15th. That'll be the same time. And I'm going to post this recording in that page. And I'm also going to post a poll. We're going to talk about like what topics we want to put on the poll. We can do that after. And then we will let you guys vote. So you're going to have an opportunity to vote for what you want to hear us talk about. And then that's the topic that we're going to cover on that call. And then we'll do that every other week. So then the following week, we'll put up another poll. You'll have a week to vote on it. And then we will talk about that topic the week after. Sound good? All right. And then also to use that group, you can post things in that group. You can ask questions in that group. Just use the group as your way to kind of, just get a hold of the leaders. Like, you earn this time. That's like part of why we're doing this. You guys deserve this time. So take advantage of that. Like, you're emeralds, you're on your way to diamond, you're building a business, you clearly have goals. So use that use that time that you have and use that privilege that you've earned to its fullest advantage. All right. Alrighty, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'm gonna go finish packing last minute before I leave at 4 a.m. But this is a great call, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys as well as some more emeralds in 2 weeks. All right, see you later. Bye.